Hello, boys and girls. We are going to do something we haven't done so far, and that is put some things in our reading section of our reading and grammar notebook. We have never put anything in the reading section. Now, before we get started, I will say I already did this video for you once and thought it was great. We all did really great with that video, but unfortunately, there was no sound. I don't know what happened. So here we are. We're doing it again. I can't start over because I had only one copy with me of the character traits packet. So I'm just going to talk you through it. So let me go to the camera real quick here so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so in your folder, you had a packet that said character traits on it. So let's see what we have left. What we have left now is we have some of our topic 1 things. So you have that. And then we have the character traits set. So what I wanted you to do is to take off the first 2 colored pages. So you have the blue one and the green one. So tear those off so that you just have these white stories. The very first story is called Borrowed. Let's see, what is it called? The Borrowed Book. Okay, so what I want you to do is tear that off, tear the Borrowed Book off this set, and then I want you to cut out just along this side and this side, cut out that story, the Borrowed Book, and I want you to glue it in the first page of reading. So here's reading. The first part of our book, it says grammar, and then we have a reading tab. So go all the way back here to reading, and you're going to turn it and just glue that page in. All right. And then we're going to work on this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow a paper out of our set so that you can't see the answers that were done already. Because I just want you to have a chance to be learning on this as well. So I'm going to give you a second. Go ahead and cut out around the edges so that you can just cut out the story itself and then glue it into your book, and then we'll be ready to go. So you might need to pause this so that you have time to get it cut out and glued in. A little drink of water, and I'm ready to go. All right, so we have it glued in. It's called The Borrowed Book, and it's a story about character traits. So go ahead and follow along on your paper, and I will read aloud on my paper. Sophia looked at the cover of her book, put it down, and began to cry. Mrs. Smith is going to be so upset with me. What am I going to tell her? Sophia thought. She knew how important it was to show responsibility when borrowing a book from her classroom library. She had just asked Mrs. Smith on Friday if she could take the book home over the weekend. She had promised to bring it back to school on Monday. Now, she sat on the edge of her bed and worried that her teacher would not understand that her younger brother had gotten hold of the book and had colored all over the cover. Oh, that's a bummer. Sophia sat in her room as she wondered how she would tell Mrs. Smith about the book. She thought about not bringing it to her attention at all. I can't afford to replace this book on my own. I am going to have to tell my parents, Sophia thought, before she went to her parents and explained how the coloring had appeared on the cover of her teacher's book. Why was it left out for your brother to find? Her father asked. I had it in my room. Tommy must have come in when I was outside riding my bike, Sophia answered. Well, you must tell your teacher what happened. She will understand, Sophia's mother replied. Exiting the bus, Sophia was overwhelmed with the thought of how her teacher would react. She decided that she would explain what had happened and offer to either replace the book or give the $14 for a new copy. Her father had loaned the money to Sophia. However, she had to agree that she would be honest with her teacher and that she would be more careful when borrowing something from someone else. Mrs. Smith respected Sophia's honesty, and she accepted the offer to replace the book. All right. That would be a hard thing to do, but in the long run, the best thing to do. All right, we are going to go to the first question. Which word best describes Sophia? Is she selfish, meaning only thinking about herself? Is she fearless? Is she considerate, thinking of others? Or is she curious, wanting to know about things? And we had decided in the first video we did together that it would be considerate, because she is caring about how the teacher is going to feel, and she is going to try to make it right. All right, and then the second question says, which word best describes Mrs. Smith? Understanding, heartless, impatient, untrustworthy. And she was very understanding, and was accepted the apology, and was accepting Sophia's way to solve it. So she wasn't acting impatient, she wasn't acting heartless, and she wasn't acting untrustworthy. So she was understanding. And then number 3, why did Sophia's parents want her to be honest when telling Mrs. Smith about the borrowed book? What were her parents wanting? Okay, they're wanting her to understand that honesty is one of the most important character traits, because it shows others that they can trust you. So if you need to take a moment to freeze the page, pause the page is one of our vocabulary words. Go ahead and pause it, and you can write this down if you'd like to write it in my words. Honesty is one of the most important character traits because it shows others that they can trust you. All right. Once you have this written down all the way, you can unpause your video and you'll be right back where we were. So take your time to do it now. The stitch in time saves 9. Number 4 says, how do you think Sophia feels now? Do you think she will borrow another book from school? And so my answer that I had said was, I think she feels relieved and calm, because she took care of it, right? It's all handled. It's over with. So I think she feels relieved and calm. And I think if she borrows a book again, that she will be very careful with it. Like super careful with it. Make sure she always has it put away somewhere where no one can tamper with it. Right, so go ahead and pause this if you need to, because you need to have all of this written down in your book. When we come back to school, I need to see that all of this is in your book. So you might as well do it now so that you don't have to do a whole bunch of stuff when we come back. All right, the next task after that is that you are going to grab the green paper. Let me back it up just a smidge. Grab the green paper and cut around the outside, and then you're going to cut in and stop, 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 and cut in and stop, so that you can put glue on this side right here. It's kind of like the spine. So put a little glue on this on the other side, and the glue on this on the other side, and then press it down, and you should have all these little windows and doors. Okay, so we're going to talk about these together. So right now, what you'll need to do is pause the video, get it cut out, get the little doors cut open or the gates cut open on there, and get it glued into your book. Okay. One of the character traits that we want to be practicing is responsibility and caring. And so you should make sure your garbage goes in the garbage can so that you can show responsibility. And you're also showing caring for your family so that they don't have to pick up after you with the garbage that's right by the garbage can. All right, so hopefully you've gotten this all done, and hopefully you're with me. I don't want you to watch the video if you're not ready. I'll be waiting right here when you're ready. All right, let's go with the top one. It says character traits, adjectives that describe a character's personality and not what they look like. Okay, So it says Dustin gets very nervous when his teacher calls on him because he doesn't like talking in front of the class. So does he have, is what there one adjective in that description or two in that description? Remember there's could be several in one. Let's go to the answer underneath. He's acting how? Shy. Okay. Dustin gets very nervous when his teacher calls on him because he doesn't like talking in front of the class because he's shy. Sorry about that. I got interrupted for a second. Lost my train of thought. Okay. So go ahead and write in shy under the first one. That's how he's feeling. The second one, Hannah is always telling her sisters what to do. She tells them to do chores like she thinks she is their mom. All right, I'm sure she's trying to show some responsibility and guidance, but I think that her sisters are thinking she's being rude and bossy. But those are all character traits that she has. She may be bossy, she might be rude, she might also be responsible. Okay, hit the pause button so you can get all this written down and come back. Okay, and the next one, Tyler is doing fantastic in school. The work isn't always easy, but Tyler never gives up. He always gives his all. So what could we say is a character trait about Tyler? Tyler is doing fantastic in school. The work isn't always easy, but Tyler never gives up. He always gives his all. Okay, so some things I thought was he shows he's responsible, but also he's brave, and he also shows perseverance. So he perseveres through things not always being easy, but he never gives up. Okay. Go ahead and pause those if you need more time. The next one says, the puppy loves to play fetch. He is always running around the house with a toy in his mouth. Okay, sounds like a sweet puppy, right? The puppy is playful and fun and happy. Okay. Next, Jamie gets up extra early to do his homework. He knows he can't do it after school because he has band and church. Right? Let's go to the next one. Jamie gets up extra early to do his homework. He knows he can't do it after school because he has band and church. He's showing that he is responsible, hardworking, and busy. All character traits to describe him. Okay, make sure you're getting everything written down. I'm trying to pause so that you can have time to finish writing. And the last one, Cassie always smiles at everyone. She compliments people and everyone likes to be around her. So what are some things we could say about her personality or her character traits? She's polite, she's kind, she's generous, she's happy. Okay. Talks about how she makes smiles every day, compliments people, and everyone likes her to be around. Right. So those are her character traits there. All right, let's make sure you have all of those written down. So let me turn that a little bit more. Okay, so the first one was shy, then bossy, rude, responsible. The next one, responsible, persevere, brave, playful, fun, happy. The next one, responsible, hardworking, and busy. And the last one, polite, kind, generous, and happy. Right, so that should be behind all of those. And so you should have your borrowed book pages filled out for the borrowed book right here. And you should have the character traits green page all cut out with the little windows and your answers filled in behind. All right, so we got our first one done. So you can just keep the blue one and then the one that starts with sweet tooth. You can keep those together. Alrighty. And I will put this in. I'll have you go to this reading lesson after you get done with the other morning things, and you will see a new folder for it. But you won't know about that. So if I tell you it now, that's not going to do us any good, is it? We need to be able to get to it before. So I will put in an email or a message in our morning message that that you're going to be working on those things in a reading folder, a new reading folder. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. No, I already did it, so it's a little bit different, but thank you for making that easier, and I appreciate you. Thanks, guys.